shots early on.
Well, not only that, he also flew out of the ring twice and in his earlier bout, but he bounced right back, and he really, really looked impressive in his quarterfinal bout. So we'll see what happens here. He is, again, 6'1", 172 pounds, a black belt, Muay Thai. He's an 8-year veteran of this sport, and his opponent, Johil de Olivera, another in-countryman, a Brazilian, from Rio de Janeiro, again, 5'7", 169 pounds. You've got the tall and short of it, as you will, as Sergio Battarelli gets these young men ready to do battle.
Yeah. Pele comes in with some great credentials, and we'll see how he does it here today. He's the current middleweight kickboxing champion, and he's held almost every title in stand-up fighting. This was a big step for him, stepping up into Vale Tudo. He's now 7-0, and he has told me he does not lose, does not plan on losing.
Whoa!
Beautiful takedown by Johil. That's exactly what Johil wants to do. Guy throws a kick, you time it right, and you shoot. He's right where he wants to be.
Good single leg takedown, and he finished it off with a headbutt as he got Pele to the ground.
Pele will try and hold him in the guard now. He does have good basic ground skills. He doesn't have, well, we haven't had an opportunity to see if he's got the finishing submission skills, but he's definitely a finisher with his strikes and his knees and his elbows, much more than the chokes. We know that from him. He's told us that. If anywhere he lacks, that's it. But he feels he's got the punching power to dispose of anyone here today.
Well, Olivera, by the way, is in his last year of law school, and he's learning right now about assault. I'll tell you that right now. Look at that. This is unbelievable. Look at this.
He'll try to slip out of the guard. You saw how he tried to move to the side. See, he's got that wide angle. You keep those legs wide. On the other hand, Pele is keeping his leg inside of the thigh. He'll try to do that to raise up and hopefully flip Olivera. Olivera, possibly too savvy to fall for that game, but we're going to see how his ground skills really hold up.
Olivera has done very well in Vale Tudo fighting. He's 11-1-1. And again, the alternate, because Rick Lucero could not continue after his quarterfinal bout, suffering a broken jaw, we've learned. And Olivera right now on top, inside the guard. The guard a little bit broken here. And he headbutts right on the cheek that time of Pele.
Yeah, he's a very well-rounded fighter. He'll be very good at, you'll see, throwing knees and elbows and headbutts. Kind of whatever Pele gives him, he will be able to work something from that, whether it's a head or a knee or an elbow. I expect a lot from him.
Yeah, and again, he's very fortunate to get into this fight because of an unfortunate injury to another fighter, but he's proving that he's worthy of being here. He is dominated, actually not dominated, but he has been in control pretty much most of this bout, although he just took an elbow on the top of the head, although he comes back with a headbutt to the ear of Pele.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Pele will try and pull him down with those legs and try to strike with the elbows. Pele is very dangerous with those elbows, and he can throw them from the bottom, so Olivera has to stay up high, stay in that high guard, stay up high above him so he doesn't get pulled down too low.
As you saw in his quarterfinal bout, he is a devastating puncher too, and I'm talking about Pele, as is Olivera. You saw a tremendous left hand to the face of his opponent in the quarterfinal, or actually in the alternate bout, that just opened up Koji's face. So this guy has some power in his left hand.
Yeah, again, two true champions here. These guys, in fact, Olivera's last fight was in the Extreme Fighting. He fought the champion, John Lewis. A beautiful reversal. Pele almost trying to slip out of it. Olivera staying tight, keeping him close, does not want to give Pele any punching room. He's in the side mount now. He likes this position. This is a favorite technique of his. He really likes to work here from the side, as does Aguiar. You'll see Pedro Rizzo work from the side here. Marco Huas. It's a favorite technique from a luta libre style fighter.
Yeah, Mark Kerr, also the Olympic wrestler, loved that side mount. And there's a lot of opportunity, too, with this type of a mount. I've seen a lot of great knee action, slam a knee to the head, a lot of elbows. There's just a lot of things you can do out of this, although he took an elbow to the back of the head there from a very, very tough Pele. Pele long and angular and just hard to really get a good grip on this guy, although he's got him locked in pretty good right now.
Yeah, he's a real squirrely type of guy. He's throwing some elbows, which is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to strike and come back and hold Olivera down. You see he's holding that shoulder tight, not letting Olivera get any room. Now Olivera is going to try and slip up, roll that knee in and over to get Pele in a mount. He's trying to distract with the right elbow. Pele, we'll see how savvy he is. You'll see him he almost tried to come up. That's what I would expect from Olivera. He wants to slip up and over, get in a full mounted position. That would be having both his knees up and on top of Pele. From there, he can strike to the face, thus giving Pele really nothing to do but turn his back and then look for the choke.
Olivera suffered a gash over his right eye, and you could see him as he was taking a blow there to check the wound, and it was bleeding very, very profusely. Now, he has a front. Oh, my goodness, he has reversed him out there. Watch, he gets back on the side, and now he's in the guard. Great action here. Great movement that time by Pele.
Yeah,
Pele. To get back into at least some kind of control, somewhere where he can operate out of.
Exactly right. He's clearly been practicing his ground skills. He's holding him tight, was able to get him back to the guard, did not want to be at that side mount because he was that much closer to getting into a full mount. Beautiful elbow by Pele. And back and hold him tight.
Once you have a cut on your face, you think you would be reluctant to headbutt some more, especially over the area that is cut. But Olivera, who has a cut over his eye, continues to try and throw in a headbutt here and now and then, and he's been fairly successful, although... Again, nice shot to the ribs that time by Olivera. Another good shot, trying to get that arm down of Pele so he can land another headbutt despite the cut on his eye. Pele now coming back with the right hand as he continues to hold a good grip. Oh, a nice headbutt. Even though the arms didn't come down, Olivera found room to slip in a headbutt. Pele now trying to ward him off with his right hand.
And he also found time to slip one leg out, and now he's in half guard. Olivera's going to try and slip the other leg out and get back into the side mount and hopefully into the full mount where he can really do some damage. Here he's in a position where he just wants to control Pele's strike just to annoy him, to get him to drop his hands, to drop his guard, or to ease up on those legs so he can get to a situation where he can do a little bit more work for him.
And it worked beautifully right there. He gave him a shot in the ribs, came up, a quick headbutt, and now Pele trying to get out of harm's way. Although he's not having much success, he's taking some pretty tough shots in the face with a headbutt, and blood is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, based on a cut mainly over the eye of Olivera.
Yeah, Pele, you see, will try and pull down. He's trying to pull down with his legs to keep Olivera down. If he could keep him down around his groin area, if he get him down to his belly, he could really do some striking from the elbows, which is a big favorite of a lucha libre fighter or a Muay Thai fighter.
Both these guys are very involved in their crafts. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, Pele runs a martial arts gym right here in Brazil. And again, here we got the lawyer on top of him trying to win this grueling war. And I'll tell you what, there have been so many huge shots, a lot of headbutts from Olivera to Pele, and Olivera's really concerned, you can tell, very concerned, keeps checking the cut over his eye.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of blood flowing on both sides of these gentlemen. There is a ton of blood here. This is one of the bloodiest fights. You can just see there's blood flowing out of his head, but he continues to work that headbutt.
And all that blood on his back, it's from the hands of Pele as he touches. But again, a quick flurry from both fighters, and it looks like this time Olivera gets the best of that flurry, and he ends it, caps it off with another headbutt despite the cuts over the eye.
Yeah, once you get going, these guys are so heated. There is such a championship will in this ring that these guys, they don't even notice their cuts anymore. They're just going purely on instinct. These guys both, as you stated, Pele does, they both run martial arts academies in Brazil. They're true champions. They've got their students, their fans following, and these guys just are champions. You can just see it, that they just are relentless in their attack.
And they just continue to go at it at full speed ahead. We are 10 minutes into this fight, and they are continuing. Boy, very, very little show of exhaustion on either fighter. They continue to try and work their own game plans, and it looks like the game plan of Olivera is to soften up the rib cage and come back in with a headbutt when the left arm comes down to the head of Pele. And he's worked it very, very well several times.
Yeah, I think Olivera knows that he's got the better finishing techniques. Where he can get in trouble is if he gives Pele any striking room, which thus far he has not done. He does not want to give Pele any room to extend those arms, to get any blows, or to get any of those powerful kicks that we haven't seen too much of here tonight. But believe me, I have seen this guy knock people out with any sides of kick anywhere in their body.
Well, you can see Pele's face is really puffy at this point. He is taking so many headbutts and several shots. And you know what? What's interesting to me is the Olivera on top as he continued. Oh, Pele trying to wiggle out and get some length. You're right, trying to get some distance between himself and Olivera, but he can't do it. Olivera on him, just like he's all over him.
Yeah, he's really staying tight. He knows the strengths of Pele's, and he's not willing to give it up. Again, Pele's holding him tight when he wants to, and then he'll try and make a surge, push him off, get those strikes in.
You continue to wait for these guys normally through these fights, especially if you've watched these for many, many years. You know that these gentlemen at one time or another, especially in a duel of attrition like this, that they will take a blow. They'll take a rest, but they haven't done it as yet. They continue to just try and get the upper hand. And again, blood flowing freely in this fight from both fighters, it appears at this point. Look at the eye there of Olivera. I should say Pele. It is cut open. He's got a nice gash down the right side of his right eye.
Yeah, these fighters, again, you're seeing these long, incredible, well-balanced fights, something I've never seen before in any Vale Tudo event ever before. These fights are so evenly matched. Federico Lapenda, the promoter of tonight's event, did an absolute amazing job in matching these young fighters up. Oftentimes, the great fighters won't fight people, like we've heard what took so long for Mike Tyson to fight Holyfield. Well, they really didn't want to fight each other. They could just knock around other people. Well, these guys are true champions, all undefeated, all willing to put their titles on the line. Pele is 7-0 in Vale Tudo competitions. He's a current kickboxing champion, and he went on and took on the best here today. Johil de Olivera is a Brazilian Vale Tudo champion currently. He's a freestyle fighting champion.
It's starting to hurt me, man. I keep seeing those shots in the ribs.
And the 5-time Luta Livre champion. Credentials unmatched anywhere in the country, in the world today.
And one thing you'll find out with a Brazilian fighter, they just won't quit. They will go until they're either a doctor stops it or the towel's thrown in. You will not see a Brazilian fighter tap out. Look at that. Unbelievable action. And then,
Pele had a moment there.
Yeah, he had a moment where he almost was able to use a foot or something to ward off the relentless attack of Johil de Olivera, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he had a chance there to push off. Olivera was up. Pele was just too tired to get in any sort of kick that could actually keep him off. Definitely Pele wants to get back on his feet. He's not able to do really anything down here. Occasional strike, but he definitely wants to get back on his feet. Olivera knows that and is not going to let him do it.
That left eye, look how swollen that is from taking all of those headbutts. Very reminiscent of the Mark Kerr Fabio Gurgel fight where Kerr headbutted Gurgel at least 40 times over the eye, and it was grotesque. This eye is starting to blow up. His face is starting to break up, but we've got more action. He's starting to kick out, but well, go, Greg.
Well, he tried. He tried, but Olivera staying extremely tight on there, was not willing to let him get up, and that was just a beautiful, beautiful fight. Unbelievable move, technique, but both fighters just trying to fight, trying to overcome, trying to find their opponent to make a mistake, but it just hasn't happened thus far.
I don't think Pele had the strength to kick out of that. He tried to administer a heel kick. He just could not, scooch away, could not get away from this guy. Olivera, just a relentless, quick attack.
Yeah, you mentioned that fight earlier, which the World Vale Tudo Championships #3 between Mark Kerr and Fabio Gurgel, which was the most incredible fight. People say that that's the best fight they've ever seen in the world. It was just absolutely incredible, just like this. Kerr was a little bit bigger than Gurgel, but...
A little? 70 pounds
70
bigger.
pounds. But the jiu-jitsu man and Fabio Gurgel, a true champion, unwilling to give up any opportunity and looking to make his mark in Vale Tudo, relentless. If anybody at home could see that tape, that is something to see. The World Vale Tudo Championships 3. If anybody wants to really appreciate the sport of Vale Tudo, the World Vale Tudo Championships #3 was an unbelievable match.
And this is right there with it. This type of action is absolutely remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how many right-hand strikes to the right rib cage Olivera has administered to Pele, and how many headbutts. Again, the eyes on Pele are starting to blow up, swell up badly. They're bleeding profusely. There is blood all over both of these men. This is just a bloody battle.
Yeah, these fighters are the best fighters I've ever seen before. Lapenda was right what he told us earlier, and he told the press conference. when they had questioned about what type of fighters and where is he coming up with consistent top fighters all over the world. I mean, just in the audience today, we've got Kevin Randleman, Mark Coleman, Hoyler Gracie, Bas Rutten, Fabio Gurgel, Richard Hurd, Pedro Rizzo. This is just in the audience today. How does he keep coming up with the best fighters and making matches like this? It's truly unbelievable.
And I'll tell you what, did you notice right now, Olivera has a matching gash over his left eye. He had started out earlier with the right eye. He has administered so many headbutts. You can see the blood right there flowing from that wound. He has them on both sides. And again, Pele continues to be the recipient of some devastating headbutts.
Yeah, he really is. But he continues the relentless attack. You see Olivera just continuing, doesn't even mind, doesn't even feel any pain anymore. He's just keeping with the relentless attack. What do I have to do to make this guy give up? I don't think he's going to stop.
Well, they continue to do it, and they continue to roll around, and they continue to have Olivera in the dominant position on top. He's in a half guard right now, or actually he's broken the guard with Pele. Now he's in the full guard right now, but he continues to stay right on top of him. And right now he's, okay, calm down.
The Sao Paulo newspaper, interesting, in their cover today, it said, blood at 5 stars. We, of course, are at the Maxu Plaza in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a beautiful 5-star hotel, and there was a prediction of what was going to happen when these type of fighters got in the ring, and boy, this is a bloody match.
Well, as a matter of fact, just a moment ago, you could see out of the corner, the left corner of the screen, you saw a white towel from the referee wiping some of that blood off of this surface, which has been inundated with both men's blood. I'll tell you what, they have just pounded each other.
When they say anything goes, they mean anything goes. And boy, these guys are letting it go. By the way, for America, vale tudo means anything goes in Portuguese. A lot of people don't know that. Vale tudo is where this whole sport originated back in Brazil about 80 years ago. And finally, America has been blessed, as we see it, to have this come to America for all of us to enjoy it. And you're really getting a first-class lesson of what vale tudo is all about.
Pele is going to have very, very sore ribs. He had a war in his first bout. He's involved in a war in this bout. Olivera certainly looks fresher. He fought a lot less than Pele, and I'll tell you, it's just this war right now is in favor, in my opinion. Now, you could disagree with me, Greg, but I think at this point, Olivera has been the dominant fighter.
Olivera has clearly controlled the fight. Pele just unable to really do what he needs to do to gain control. And unless Olivera makes a mistake, it's clearly going to be his fight.
A 30-minute time limit, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Pele tries to get a little distance and throw a couple of feeble right hands. Didn't work.
And we're getting close to that 30-minute time limit now. Pele's got to start to make some moves to see if he could do something to stop Olivera, because if he stays in this position, he's just going to continue to take abuse. And the conditioning that Olivera is, I could think he could do this for 2 days.
Well, he has not slowed down from the get-go. I keep waiting for him to take a little blow, take a little break in the action. I have noticed that Pele has tried to rest on occasion, and every time he tries to rest, he lets his guard down just a little bit, and Olivera comes in with a headbutt or a devastating right hand to the ribcage. And I tell you what, he's, again, in control right now. Although, here we go again.
Trying to slip
Pele
out.
Trying to
this
get
is
out.
Where he wants to be. He needs to be able to push him away. Olivera staying tight with an overhand right. Continues to fall back in. Remember, they've got very sweaty bodies here. If they were wearing gis or clothes, very possibly he would have been able to push away. But with that slippery, slimy body and bloody body, you slide right back down, which was a blessing for Olivera, because Pele almost got some kick-in room there.
Well, the Maxu Plaza here is full of Vale Tudo fans. They love this sport. They support it amazingly here in Brazil, and certainly in other parts of the world now, as we have noticed, because these shows have been popular in Russia. They've been very popular in Japan. There's a show coming up in Turkey. So there's a lot of different places in America and the United States, I should say, and the world that appreciate this type of fighting. And I'll tell you what, you won't find any more courageous men than these two right here.
Yeah, the World Vale Tudo Championships is here and here to stay. It's all over the world now. Just like you said, they've been all over. They continue to be all over. If you people enjoy this sport, please don't be afraid to let your cable operators know how much you appreciate and how much you enjoy and how much you're learning about this sport. Because as we've all heard, few people are trying to think that it's a little bit too much for people. But as you see, these guys are fine. These are true warriors. I haven't seen anybody really knocked out tonight. It looks bloody. It looks powerful.
Oh, it is bloody.
It's bloody and it's powerful, but you know what? The referee is keeping a close eye. If any of them gets a little bit too rocked, they're gonna break it up. These guys are checked for HIV and hepatitis before they get in the ring. Obviously, you can see blood's mixing, and it's all over the place. So we hope everybody's really enjoying it at home there.
What I have noticed, by the way, I've noticed that the left eye of Pele is now almost closed. He's taken such a beating with the headbutts, and there was an interesting tactic right there. I just saw an elbow. A tough elbow to the thigh of Pele from Olivera. He's just trying a little bit of everything tonight on that right side.
Yeah, that luta libre style, again, they train everything that works. If it doesn't work, there's no katas, there's no garbage. They don't wear gis when they train. They learn what works. They balance their day. They train for a couple hours a day on the ground, a couple hours a day standing up. There's no better balanced training system out there today.
Now, Sergio Battarelli, in a situation like this, he just keeps a very close eye to make sure both guys are still lucid.
I'm sorry?
Sergio Battarelli, his job right now, obviously, he's the referee, but he just really, they'd hate to be a factor in any of these.
Exactly. He's keeping a close eye to make sure that neither one of them is really rocked. I mean, they're bloody, they've been cut, but you know what? We can see from where we're sitting, we can still see they are focused. Their brains, their heads are all still in the fight. They're maintaining their composure. They're still doing what they need to do. Pele knows he can tap out at any time. His corner has a towel that they can throw in at any time. But they know he's swelling and he's hurt. Let's not kid ourselves. But you know what? He's up to that third, fourth, fifth level, and he feels no pain, and he will fight till the end.
He also has a 7-0 perfect record in Vale Tudo on the line tonight. So obviously, with that, you want to protect that undefeated record. I'll never forget the fight with Red Herd and Pedro Rizzo. Red Herd was undefeated, and he just was worn down. But that man had no quit in him at all. Pedro just flat beat him in the fight, and that really hurt. I spent the evening with him, and when you're a champion and you're undefeated and you lose that first one, that's devastating. He doesn't want to have that feeling. I'm talking about Pele.
Yeah, exactly. And Olivera, on the other hand, 11-1-1. Comes from a family of fighters. His father was a Vale Tudo champion in the early 80s. His young son, he's training. Of course, he's not in the ring beating people silly, but he's training to protect himself and learning the self-defense methods that will make him possibly a third-generation Vale Tudo fighter.
And it looks like his knuckles are getting very sore because now he's starting to use the palm of his hand to strike with. I saw him do it to the face and to the side, to the rib cage of Pele. So those hands get so sore if you continue to hit somebody with them.
That's exactly right. In fact, a lot of these people start out that way. A lot of people, when you're punching on the ground and you're fighting without gloves, most of these fighters will, at least the smart ones that I've seen, will open hand strike. Occasionally you want to lay a little knuckle on them to let them know you're serious, but the open hand strikes are just as powerful when you can strike to the side of the head. There's Fabio Gurgel in the background, a big fan.
I'll tell you what, we almost lost a couple of fighters.
Yeah,
these two gentlemen almost left the ring. But did you see how intense Gurgel was watching these combatants? Did you see the audience, the eyes? Look at the eyes of the audience. They are totally focused on this.
Yeah, there's so much skill, and these are such great fans because they really understand the sport. And you know that if you're a kickboxer, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're going to fight a good Vale Tudo style fight or a good luta libre fighter, you're going to go to the ground because you're going to miss when you throw a punch. And even the best people like Pele, who is unbelievable on his feet, undefeated, kicker, puncher. But these great ground fighters were able to take him to the ground. Luckily, he's been practicing his ground skills, so he's able to survive, but not able to really excel.
You know what? Even an open palm right hand to the face has got to hurt. I just saw Pele take one from Olivera just then, and now he takes another headbutt. Olivera changing his attack now. He'd been working on the right side exclusively, and now he's working his way over to the left side, striking with the left hand, because that right hand, frankly, has got to be very sore. Although he balled up the fist that time, that right hand is very sore. And look at the blood everywhere.
Yeah, these guys are just putting on the fight of their life. Neither one of these guys, or probably anybody who's watching this, has ever been in a war like this.
Can you believe, though? Look at Pele. Came back with the elbow. He came back with a nice burst of energy right there. He continues to try and attack with the elbow, trying to land it on the top or the crown of the head of Olivera.
Yeah, with a few minutes left in this fight, he knows he's got to start to react. He's got to start to make something happen. He knows that Olivera has a lot of fans here. He knows that he's got to do something different. He knows that he's on the bottom, and Olivera has been controlling him. However, exactly right. He's still got a lot of juice left. And if Olivera makes one little mistake, it'll be over.
And right there, again, he works the left side of the face of Pele, continues to work that left side after he had spent exclusively the first 3/4 of this fight working the right side. But look at those headbutts, and again, the swelling on the face of Pele is very obvious here, along with all the blood.
Yeah, Olivera with beautiful control, doing what he wants to do, standing up, trying to... Oh, here's Pele's chance, and a beautiful, great takedown. Olivera says, we're not going to play that game. He actually thought about it for a minute and realized, I am destroying this guy on the ground. Why would I get up? Why would I risk? And a beautiful double leg was almost off the hip. Takes him right back down. Pele was just too exhausted to slip out of that. Early on, he would have been able to do something. There was nothing he could do.
The speed and quickness of Olivera was unbelievable when he took him down. I thought Pele had indeed escaped, and he did not. It was that quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
These guys are absolutely unbelievable. When you look at the skill level that you're seeing here today, if you're a fighter, if you've ever trained before, you've got to understand. This is like even a Holyfield versus De La Hoya. Holyfield just doesn't have the skills that a De La Hoya does. Of course, he may be able to take De La Hoya, but when you look at the skill level, you are seeing the very best fighters in the world today.
Yeah, and right now we see what we see in these fights tonight too. We are seeing evenly matched fighters, totally evenly matched, and it's been an unbelievable display of expertise in the art of Vale Tudo.
Yeah, and Vale Tudo is to create a way that people can understand what really is the best sport, what is really best. Here's Olivera. Back down in the position. Pele trying to slip out of it, trying to get some elbows, trying to get his game going, but just unable to really handle Olivera thus far.
I am amazed again at the quickness of Olivera. Every time it looks like Pele is going to do something positive for himself, Olivera uses his quickness to thwart any kind of offensive thrust by Pele. But Pele right now is landing a couple of left hands. I didn't think he had anything left, and he does. He's thrown a lot of great elbows late in this fight, so we'll have to see if he can maintain that pace.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of juice. He's still a great fighter. And Olivera is very aware of that if he lets his guard down for one moment, and that's exactly why he took him back down to the ground, is it could be over that quick.
Well, Olivera has taken a couple of tough shots to the back of the neck as they lie there in front of Sergio Battarelli. That's the great thing about Sergio. He doesn't have to move around very much because these guys aren't. They're just lying there hitting each other. Another headbutt. He's worked his way over to the right side of the face again of Pele. Olivera with a headbutt, then an open palm shot with the left hand to the side of the face as they squirm around in there.
Yeah, Olivera trying to slip out of that guard so he could get in a side mount or a full mount position where he can actually try and finish this fight. He wants to finish Pele. No one has ever finished Pele. Everybody had their eye on this guy today, and it'll be interesting to see if Johil will be the one to finish him.
Well, when Pele goes and looks at this fight on tape, he is going to say, man, why did I not stand up longer? Why didn't I stay on my feet a little bit longer? And instead of getting in the position that he's been in where he's taken such a brutal beating at times.
Yeah, and then
But he's administering. Look at the elbow slam right up against the side of the head of Olivera. Some great elbows, but Olivera slides right back in.
Yeah, truly, Olivera knows where he needs to be. Pele knows where he needs to be, unable to quite get there, but still a true warrior, still sticking it out, waiting for anything to happen where he could put the hurt on Johil de Olivera. And again, as something to take into consideration here is the easy fight that Johil had early on. He had a quick 30-second fight, whereas Pele had a tough, I believe it was a 22-minute fight was the official time with his fight against Makako. If these guys were evenly matched, it may be a different story. So fatigue definitely comes into the factor. I mean, if you just look at it, people who normally know fighting sports, it's, in America at least, it's boxing. Imagine one of these guys going 10 rounds, because that's really what it would be, 10 rounds, and then coming back about 30 minutes later and having to fight again.
Another 10-rounder.
A tougher guy.
And you know what? Marcelo Aguiar, I'm sure, is sitting somewhere near here looking at these two guys, scouting this fight out. I'm sure he's very familiar with his fellow countrymen. But who is he going to fight in the final? We don't know just yet.
Yeah, whoever it is going to be in big trouble, I'll tell you that right now. Because Marcelo is well rested. Oh, here it is. Be careful. Oh. Nice kick to the, and a stomp to the face. Olivera does the right thing and falls forward instead of back. If he would have fallen back, that would have been big trouble.
He took 2 heels right in the face.
Beautiful shots by Pele, right to the face of Olivera. Olivera falls forward, gets back into the guard where he can at least stay on top so Pele is unable to stand up. That's where he needs to be, because you can see Pele's still got a lot of gusto left in him and a lot of punches and feet kicking to push out.
Man, and look at them, both crimson in color.
That's it. 30-minute time
body
limit.
paint,
the
folks.
Fight is over. That's
and
it.
They help each other up.
Wow.
Look at the face on Pele.
Unbelievable.
And look at the face on Olivera. These 2 gentlemen are bloody messes. 2 warriors. Wow.
Well, look at the last finish there. Let's see what's going to happen here. This is where Johil stands up. Bad move. Takes a front kick to the side of the jaw and then a stomp. Beautiful kicks by Pele on the face of Olivera. But Pele, just relentless, not willing to give up. He's still there. He's ready to go another couple of rounds if he could. Olivera looks like the least hurt of the 2, but that last one opened up a huge cut over his face. He's cut, but good.
Look at this. He cannot see out of that left eye. I would beg to differ if anybody says he can, because that eye is swollen shut, and I'm talking about Pele. Olivera has been cut several times on the face. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back if indeed he wins this bout. Let's find out right now. Sergio Battarelli in the middle of the ring. Who is our champion? Actually, our finalist. Who will be our finalist?
We're going to go to the scorecards here, see what they think, because one of these guys has one more fight to go.
I can't imagine. I mean, I just couldn't imagine having to do that again. That's the great thing about this sport. I mean, it's never ending.
And we are out of alternate fighters. There was one alternate. So if one of these guys is unable to continue, there it is, Johil de Olivera. That was our first judge. Gives it to Johil. Second judge, wait for an opinion.
Johil de Olivera. Which I totally agree with at this point.
Yeah,
he
really
dominated throughout, although a great surge at the end.
Olivera.
All 3 judges
Victorious.
go for Olivera, but in a very first loss, this time from Jose Pele Johns, his very first loss. You know he is feeling really down about now. This young man has got to be incredibly happy, but then he's got to go back and regroup and come back for a final against Marcelo Aguiar, which